The Locked On Milwaukee Bulls podcast show. We'll be covering how the Milwaukee Bulls won today's show. Plus, we'll be covering everything Milwaukee Bulls. Just give me 1 minute here, folks. I say again, today on this stream of Locked On Milwaukee Bulls, and welcome in to this podcast series of the Bucks podcast. Um, Today we'll be covering how the Bucks won and everything about it. Of how we came about it and what we did right. Just give me one quick second, folks. Yeah, I am still here, folks. I'm just doing a little editing right now. Oh, wrong screen. Wrong screen. Okay, there we go. Um, the Bucks. We hear from Doc Rivers too. By the way, I say again, we'll hear from the head coach of Doc Rivers. Let's hear what the Bucks TV post game show people have to say first, quickly.
A little bit of a run in the second half. That's really good on the back-to-back leading into New Orleans tomorrow. Yeah, they took advantage of that big halftime lead. No question about that. Now, you mentioned Jericho Sims. He's getting Kuzma to both with no works on the floor.
Congratulations on the win, guys. You two especially seem to have a great connection out there. How did you get it done as a collective?
Yeah.
As a collective, just by sharing the ball. I think this is one of our better games the past couple weeks. To just pass the ball, playing in the next action, and trusting one another. And that's what we did.
I hear a lot of Kuzmas out there. Well, Jericho Sims, plus 29 when you were on the court tonight. What got you going?
31 points, 20. Hang on, let me back it up for a second.
I'd like to just sharing the ball. I think this is one of our better games in the past couple of weeks. And just passing the ball, playing in the next action, and trusting one another. And that's what we did.
I hear a lot of cruises out there. Well, Jericho sends plus.
And I'll give you the stats once the thing goes down. Between Kai Kuzma, uh, he's 31 points, 12, 22 field goals, 10 rebounds. Sims, 9 points, 4 for 6, 9 rebounds. The Bucks, and again, snappy, 5-game losing streak. They play tomorrow as well. A 131, 115 at Fiserv Forum. Um, yeah. They play this game. Next game is 3-1 this year at Chicago. Um, game one was at Chicago, and game three was at Milwaukee. Game four will be in Chicago. And that moves the Bucks into an 18-12, um, 29 and 9, uh, 9, 9, 9 wins, 12 losses. I can tell you who they play tomorrow. They play the New Orleans Pelicans tomorrow at 7 p.m. And they are 13 and 39, 5 of 20 away. The Bucks are 19 and 29 and 10 of 12 at home. I had to think there for a minute. It wasn't giving me the updated stats.
29 when you were on the court tonight.
And they are doing this all without Giannis Antetokounmpo, by the way, everybody. Um, so all this. Okay, let me start my share. Well, yes. There we go. I just wanted to make sure I could hear myself. There's the score, final score. And then let's continue on of listening in to um, the Bucks of ugh. Well, that and he was getting open too of sharing the ball round and round. Not, the Bucks didn't hold on to the ball, and they didn't just okay. I'm just gonna pass it to um. Hang on, let me get the. They weren't gonna just pass it to Kyle Kuzma or Wines, um, because here is the shot chart for the Bucks of how they made it the split. All right, the jump ball was at 12, turnover at 11:49 to go. The Bucks didn't score until 11:17. That was a steal, by the way. AJ Green for three, assisted by Ryan Rollins. And it goes on and on and on and on. But let me get back to the Bucks.
Huge if they want their New Orleans game tomorrow night to get those young bigs involved in the pick and roll, develop or deliver those pocket passes to things of that nature, and keep building on this. Yep, no question about that. Now, we talked a lot about Ryan Rollins in our pregame show, Kuz as well, and these are the two headliners offensively for the Bucks here in this one. Rollins in this game,
Yeah,
really nice.
they talked about Kuzma and Ryan Rollins. They need to get him going.
33 that the Bucks were able to produce for Rollins, another solid all-around game. He really was, and he's not having to press shots. They're coming in flow of the game. There were maybe a couple that he might want to have back in the third quarter, but for the most part, he's attacking. He's playing off the ball screen really, really well. He's reading it in transition, making threes.
Yeah.
As I said in the pregame, it looks like it's going in. Pretty much. So, I think the Cavaliers, they're explosive and not having.
Trade Clippers and Cavaliers. James Harden goes to the Clippers, and no, they received James Harden, and Daenerys Glatter goes. That was a trade between them two teams.
Quite the season maybe that they were hoping for. Still in Cleveland,
Hang on. They're talking about this NBA trade right here.
all right, Bucks line rolls on here at 131, 115. Victories for Milwaukee. Chicago. A lot of trades today. This one made during the game early in the NBA. James Harden on the move again. He is going to Cleveland. Darius Garland going from Cleveland to the LA Clippers. An interesting trade here as the Clippers are starting to really get hot here over the last 6 weeks or so. Harden though joining the Cavaliers. They're explosive and not having quite the season maybe that they were hoping for. All right, back here at the Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all sports. That's Greg Sean and Tom Crean. And Tom, we talked about the three-point shooting, that huge number at 61%. The Bucks 23 of 38 in this game, but also 33 assists. It's just incredible the amount of assists and the made threes. And we said in the pregame show, the Bucks got to start hitting these shots because they're getting them. Well, it was the ball movement, and it was how quick.
Yeah, the ball. He hit it right on the nose. They hit it right there on the nose. Let me stop my share. I'll bring myself back up. Live. So you guys can see me. The ball movement. They didn't just stand in one spot. And they didn't just hold the ball and just shoot. What they did was Oh, I'm gonna pass it here to Kuzma. Oh, I'm gonna pass it here to um, Kyle Kuzma. Um, or they're gonna go over there and pass it to another one. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. The Bucks 131 to 115 win over the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, of hitting threes, taking the deuce shot, which is 2 points, and distributing the ball around to other players, not just one player. Or when Giannis Antetokounmpo is out, and they need to depend on people to step up. They need to have people to step up and rely on other people to depend on. And when you want to compete for an NBA title, you need those people to eventually stand up and help the team out.
Another calf injury here, and he actually gave an exclusive interview tonight, I should say, actually during the game warm-up, so moments before the game started, to Jim Ozarski of the Journal Sentinel here in Milwaukee. Some interesting thoughts from Giannis, of course, nationally, every single half hour it seems like. There seems to be some new update on whether or not he's going to be traded away from Milwaukee now or potentially as soon as the season ends. Who knows at this point, but Giannis stating once again, Tom, that his desire is to stay in Milwaukee, not just through this season, but his entire career. He claims he has not asked for a trade and had some interesting things to say here. He expressed his deep personal history in Milwaukee, and it's some good stuff here. Of course, he got married here. He had all of his kids here. His father died here, and he is buried here in Milwaukee, and he won an NBA title here in Milwaukee as well, among other things. His desire is to win another title, and he's not sure if the Bucks feel the same way. His words in that article. So there's something to solve here a little bit. There's obviously
a lot to unpack.
And emotions going on here as the trade deadline is Thursday afternoon.
There's a lot to unpack there. Where do I start? You got Giannis Antetokounmpo, aka the Greek Freak, NBA champion. Giannis getting married. Giannis having his kids here in the state of Wisconsin. Giannis Antetokounmpo's father dying in this state. Let me see here. What else? I'm still getting my brain wrapped around this. And I'm trying to figure out what the Bucks can do if they want to keep Giannis Antetokounmpo. They need to piece, this hand with this hand, the left hand with the right hand. If you can't make it into a book, you will end up having the book smashed up into what I would call a crunched up book. And guess what happens with a crunched up book? Well, you can't read the damn book. That's another topic or another idea. How can you, question mark, sign an international player like Giannis Antetokounmpo to a multi-year deal? Back that up with good NBA talent. And like starting from Giannis down here where my hand is, going to about where my elbow is, of winning it all. How do you do that? I'll be live tomorrow. Either post or pre talking about today's game, but it'll be yesterday's game if you're going to be watching this tomorrow morning. So, yes, see you guys tomorrow of watching the Bucks and the New Orleans Pelicans. But let's hear from Doc Rivers first.
Front office that's coming from his people.
Here's Doc Rivers before I end.
Everybody, Kuz was phenomenal. What Ryan, everyone, the whole key was, we talked about it, trying to create threes, and the only way we can do that is by playing quick. The ball can't stick, and we got to get in the paint. And when you get in the paint, be a passer, don't be a scorer, unless you can get a layup. And I thought our guys overall, everyone did that.
Yeah, they did.
For Ryan tonight, before the game, you talked about his growth as a playmaker. Is that just kind of what you're seeing again?
Yeah, he's really growing, man. He made a pass in the first half where he jumped in the air and pump faked the guy and then threw it to the corner. A month ago, there's no way he sees it, let alone makes a pass and has the wherewithal to pump fake first. Like, he's doing some really good stuff. I'm so proud of him.
The other day you talked about Pete a little bit as well, and just sort of what he's given you. A night like tonight, there's some of those raw numbers where you mentioned the game before, maybe there weren't the stats. So again, just what have you found, or what do you think you're finding?
Just a high IQ player. He's like a utility, 9 force. He's everywhere. Offensively, we put him at the 3, put him at the 4. We're playing through him a lot. We love him flashing to the ball, making plays. He's just a smart, aware player. It's funny. I just remember years ago with Belichick, we're looking at football players, and he was showing me how one guy on the clock was quick, but this guy was faster because he thought faster. So he got there quicker, and that's what Pete does. For what he doesn't have in speed, he always beats people to the spot because he sees it first, and that's what Pete does. It's really nice.
Hey Doc, the Bulls cut into single digits in the third quarter. Just what do you think of the team's resiliency to kind of create some separation from that?
Yeah, I loved it. I didn't love that they cut it, to be honest, but I loved that we took it back up. I thought the first 5 minutes of the third quarter were the only bad minutes of the game for us, and it was how we played. We stopped moving the ball. Everything was a quick shot. The paint was clogged, and then once we got back to playing right, we got stops and started scoring again.
Right there's Doc Rivers, Milwaukee head home back-to-back games. Pelicans in town already to play tomorrow night. We'll preview it coming up.
Pelicans are in town. See you guys tomorrow. How was Doc Rivers, everybody?